right. Well, it's just another Sunday, and we have a lot to unpack this week.
It feels like summer, and it shouldn't because it's October.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It feels like an August summer day,
Mm-hmm.
and we're here at the lovely Lakeside Park at the south end. There's a few things going on. Everyone's riding high because last night the Blue Jays did beat the Yankees
Yep.
10-1. It
Mm-hmm.
was a very exciting game. There's a lot of other things going on, but who really cares because it's a nice day and we're
Yes.
enjoying a Sunday.
And apparently it was a nice enough day that they set up the CIBC Run for the Cure here in the lovely park, and we had no idea it was happening. There are a lot of people here right now.
There are. I think they're wrapping it up now,
Yeah,
but still.
still a lot of people.
So the one thing I did want to talk about, it's a bit controversial throughout Ontario, are traffic cams. And here in Oshawa, I think we have a few traffic cams that have been taken down and put back up and taken down and put back up. So we would like to hear your opinion about the traffic cams. And so, Shelley, how do you feel about the traffic cams?
So traffic cams are good for the municipality because they get them extra money. Traffic cams are not good because they don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't discourage speeding. So in that respect, I think traffic cams are pointless and we should get rid of them and come up with a different solution for reducing people's speeds, specifically in school zones. And I'm thinking the old speed bump trick because nobody wants to grind out their car on a speed bump.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have many feelings on it too. Like, I know one thing they've done is in many areas they've reduced the speed from 50 kilometers an hour to 40 kilometers an hour. And I like the idea, but it does slow the flow of traffic and it trickles through and it does make it less efficient.
And a lot of people don't follow it anyway. And to your point, most people drive with the flow of the traffic. So if traffic's going 50, 55, 60 in a 40 zone, everybody's going to be doing the same speed, except for the people that are actually paying attention to, oh, the speed has decreased. Something that I saw in Peterborough when we were up there in a school zone is they actually have metal stakes in the middle of the freaking road every so many feet. And it's like, you got to really slow down to get through.
It's like a little obstacle course.
Yeah, you really have to slow down to get through. And I noticed that they have them over on Glen Street now as well, where they have the pole in the middle of the street and it says 40 right on it. So, I mean, even if you're not, most speed signs are on the right hand side. Even if you're not really paying attention, you can't miss that because it's in the middle of the street and you have to slow down or, you know, well, I guess you don't have to. I'm sure there's people that could just book it right through there, but I'm paranoid and I'd be afraid of scratching my car.
Me too. It's hard even when you're doing 40. You're like, ooh, squeeze in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you're trying to force your vehicle to slim down.
Mm-hmm. But I think for school zones especially, they definitely need to come up with something other than the cameras because the cameras don't work. It's like, oh, I got a ticket. I paid the ticket. I'm still going to keep doing, whatever speed I'm comfortable driving at.
Right. Well, there's a few things I like about the speed camera, which is wrong. But what I like about it is that if you do get caught on a camera, you just pay the fine. You don't end up losing points. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, if you're like, oops, I was rushing and you're a little bit over. But also I think on the bad side, people don't want to feel that they're living in like an Orwellian 1984 situation where they feel that they don't have autonomy or freedom. Another side is I've had people close to me who were in some serious car accidents and they suffered and it was awful. People don't think of the consequence if someone gets injured, how it devastates their life and it costs money, it costs our healthcare system. You really have to think critically about how everyone is affected by how you're driving.
And most people don't
Mm-hmm.
because it's a very much a me society these days.
Right. And I don't think it's necessarily it's speeding, it's not paying good attention. It's not giving people enough room or time to react and things like that.
Especially trucks. Especially trucks.
Yeah. All right. So let's go bother some people, hopefully, and see what they have to say.
All right.
Okay. We found our first victim. And so we're just asking people's opinions about traffic cam. And so I'm going to hand over the mic and ask you, what do you think about traffic cameras being deployed here in Oshawa?
Well, as a recipient of 3 or 4 speeding tickets because of the cameras, I'm not the happiest person in the world. However, that was my fault. I knew I was speeding. I wasn't over by a lot. I still believe they're a necessary evil. Um, School zones is important. If they took the revenue from my ticket and everybody else's and put that into law enforcement, I'd be really happy with that. If I could see where those funds were going. I've heard comments of people saying, oh, gee, that doesn't work in a school zone because they don't get the ticket for, 2 weeks later. Take that money and put a police officer in front of the school zone.
And if they got rid of the cameras, what would you think they could do to slow people down?
Well, we're not allowed to have firearms.
Okay, other than that.
No, I don't know. It's put more police officers out there. That's the problem. Not having a police officer out there doesn't just take care of um, speeding problems. It takes care of all the other issues we have when everybody goes, geez, I wish there was a cop here.
Yep.
Use that money, you know, put more police officers out there and then save me the tax money for that. To take the cameras away now, we've just wasted all the money that we put into them. So it only makes sense to me. Generally, the people that complain are the ones who are habitual speeders, and it might have been for a couple of kilometers over. I was daydreaming, whatever, and the speed crept up a little bit. My fault, you know. Um, but there's those that get, those incredible speeding tickets. They shouldn't even be on the road, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Here at the lake, one initiative is to support our local Indigenous people. They have this sign here that says to join in honoring the Indigenous children who had to endure the residential school era. Only a few of the residential school sites across Canada have been searched so far, and a number of unmarked graves continue to grow to unimaginable heights. So we, the public, are invited to tie an orange ribbon at this location to acknowledge the stolen children, to show sign of respect to them and their families. Canada in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. So today and every day, we recognize those injustices that have begun. And Shelley is going to tie a ribbon. She's got her ribbon. Out of respect for our nation's Indigenous people. And you can see a lot of ribbons here have been tied along the lake shore. And some people have been creative. They show the orange shirt, the orange t-shirt, and when we do celebrate Truth and Reconciliation Day, people are encouraged to wear orange t-shirts, and someone has put a heart here. That's very sweet. Thank you, Shelley. Hi there. So this is Andrea again, back, and we're talking about traffic cameras, much like the one that you can see in the background here. And so what we've been doing is we've been going around and talking to people and asking their opinion about how they feel about the traffic cameras. Are they working? Do they work? Should we use them? Now, I will say when we were at the beach yesterday, we got some excellent feedback. A lot of people who didn't drive didn't think that their opinion mattered, but I think it does. Because as a pedestrian, it could be that maybe you were affected by somebody speeding. And so we're going to be asking more people today their opinion about whether or not speeding cameras really work. We did talk to a lot of people out of town the other day. For some people from the West Coast, they gave some great insight that they did try traffic cams. They proved to be a little bit more expensive than was necessarily doing their job. So it's definitely a good conversation to have for sure. So this is the OG, the original traffic cam that they have on Simcoe Road North. This is up by Durham College, Ontario Tech. And as you can see, it's still standing. It's well guarded, I think. There's no graffiti or anything on it. And as we see, people are not speeding up and down this area. So I think it's acted as a really good deterrent. But I think maybe Shelley was on to something, as this is very obvious. A few other people suggested that the cameras could be not as obscure, not out there like this one is. Oh, not a lot of people wanted to give their opinion on camera, and certainly we want to respect everyone's privacy, autonomy, and freedom. We're here about fun and not about pressure, but a lot of people gave their opinions, and some people like the cameras, some people don't like the cameras, some people would like to see more of a police presence, and I think a lot of people were saying basically it's on the driver, and the driver should be held responsible. So I'd also like to just take a moment. We had a lot of people at the beach, gave a lot of insightful feedback. They were very helpful. Unfortunately, we did have some video issues, so I got their audio. I'm going to end our episode by playing their audio, and I'd like to thank them all for their insight and for their contribution. And until our next Schwananigans episode, we'll see you later. All right, bye-bye now. And we're back to just asking opinions here about the traffic cams. And here we go. How do you feel about the traffic cams going up in Oshawa?
I personally don't feel that it's a good thing because I feel like it's more of like a tax grab, and like especially like when you're going up by Bow Valley Public School on Ritson Road, there's one there that's been spray painted multiple times and knocked over. Like I understand that the school area is a 50, a 50-kilometer-hour zone or whatever, but I don't think if you are doing 55 because the actual law tells you that you can do 5 over and 5 under, right? So if you're doing 52 kilometers an hour and that camera goes off, I don't believe that you should get a ticket for that. I don't think that's fair. And also, regarding the tax grab, I think it's more of just an additional income for the government. And then if you're doing 2 kilometers over the speed limit and then that camera goes off and then you get a ticket, it doesn't even matter if it's you even driving the vehicle. Whoever that license plate's licensed to, they get nailed for it. So it's like if I went and took out my mother's car and then I go past, say again, Bow Valley Ritson Road Public School, right? Then if I was doing 52, then my mom gets a ticket for that. How is that fair? That doesn't really make sense to me. So that would be my intake on that. And the multiple times, especially up by Durham College, you got kids vandalizing it. Taxpayers got to pay for that. And because they vandalized it, we end up paying for it. And it's like they're already just taking money out of us, and then you got more money coming out because then they're going to up your taxes and do whatever else. Oh,
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
that's my peace of mind.
All right. And so, what do you think about the traffic cams that are going up in Oshawa?
Well, Doug Ford was saying in Toronto that the 16 cameras got damaged. If you remember, he's saying it's a money grab because, correct me if I'm wrong, unless I'm wrong, I think what the speed limit that you have to go towards these cameras, it's uncomfortable on your foot that speed on the pedal. So naturally you go over the speed limit and you get ticketed. So he's saying if the city didn't get rid of the speed cameras, he was going to do it. And I saw that on the news some time back.
Yeah. Do you agree with that? Do you think you should get rid of them?
Yeah, well, if Doug Ford's, if what he's saying is absolutely correct, which I believe it is, then they should get rid of them.
So, how could they make things safer in school zones to get people to slow down?
Oh, I don't know, because I think people are going to speed up anyway. There was one guy they had when John Tory was, I think it might have been when John Tory was in power, the mayor. I think he said some guy got ticketed over 30 times. So he's got a lot. Some people just don't care because they'll pay the fine and that's it.
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah,
really change.
it doesn't deter them. So I don't know what you would do.
All right. Thank you
All right.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.
Yeah.